Okay, so Mishnah 12. Hillel v'Shamai. All right, so we've been going through the zugot, the pairs. So now we're coming up to Hillel. So Hillel is at the transition time between the Hashmonaim and the Herodians, basically Syrian rule. That the Romans are having internal trouble. The Persian Parthians come in and conquer Israel. Control eventually passes to the Syrian protectorate. The last of the Hashmonaim are killed. Herod comes in, he takes over, and it becomes basically ruled out of Syria by Roman procurators, who then tax us to death, and we enter the kind of the beginning of the end period, starting with Hillel and Shammai. So Hillel v'Shamai kiblu mehem. So they received the Torah, right? Remember we said this word kibel, that there's two words for transmission of Torah that you see in Pirkei Avos. One is Masorah and one is Makabel. Masorah means that it was transmitted perfectly, right? Whatever it was that the teacher had to teach, the student was able to learn. And kibel means that what the teacher had to teach, the student wasn't capable of receiving. So even at the generation of Hillel and Shammai, it says Hillel and Shammai, what they received was not at the level of what Shammai and Avtalon were capable of teaching. Right? There's every one of these generations, you see there's a diminution, a degradation of what we have as Torah. So Hillel v'Shamai kiblu mechem. Hillel says, Chave mitamidav shel Aharon. You should be amongst the students of Aharon, Ochev Shalom, V'rodev Shalom, Ochev Habriot, Umakarvan LaTorah. That we saw the second Mishnah, he said the world stands on three things. The world stands on Torah, on Avoda, and on Gemilas Usadi. You have three fundamental relationships in life. A relationship with God, a relationship with others, and a relationship with people. Right? The three Avos match to that. Right? Avraham was about Chesed. Right, Yitzhak was about avoda. Right, Yaakov was about learning. Everything you see, it's mind, body, and it's mind, speech, and action. There's many places that you see these three things come together. But anytime you see in Avos 3, you have to assume that it's those three relationships. So we have here 3 Mishnayot by Hillel, and you'll see that each of his Mishnayot speaks to one of those. So when we do all 3, you'll see why. But this is the mission of how to serve God. Hillel says the world stands on 3 things. So I want you to understand, how do you do avoda? Which you can kind of get a hint is because he says, Chavi mitamidal shel Aharon. Who was Aharon? What was Aharon's role in the world? Aharon was the Kohen Gadol. Aharon's job is how to serve God, right? Aharon runs the avoda. Here's how you become the Kohen Gadol, right? You want to serve God. Here's how we go. So he says, Ohev Shalom. You have to love Shalom. What is Shalom? So Shalom is peace, but it comes from the word Shalem, Shlemut, completeness. What it means is, Shalom is completeness. So what's Ohev? What's to love? So Noah says that Ohev, to love, means you have to see the value in someone or something, and you have to take pleasure in it. It's 2 steps. The first step is an intellectual piece. I have to identify the good in something. And the second is a personal emotional piece. I have to involve myself in it by taking pleasure. Right? It's not enough for me to identify that you have good. I have to actually take pleasure in it. I have to lift myself from the good that I see in you. So this concept of shalom, says to be an ohev shalom, means I have to see your shlemus, your completeness, your wholeness as good, and I have to take pleasure in it. That it can't be, it can't be, a Brazilian slum where if you get run over by a bus, I don't care. Right? It has to be that I want your life to be good. Right? The fact there's people that are saying Tehillim for me because they want my life to be good. Right? There's no selfishness to it. There's nothing they get out of it. In fact, it's annoying. It's work when you daven for somebody else. It's work to do a Tehillim group. It's work to do, right? When your friend's in trouble, it's difficult. There's effort to it. But the fact is, what you're supposed to be is when you have a friend that you want good for them. You want their marriage to be good. You want their relationship to their kids to be good. You want their job to be good. You want their health to be good. What I want is for you to be a sweet, wholesome, happy, healthy, normal consistency. I want your will to be consistent with God's will. I want your life to be consistent with your wife's life and with your kid's life. I want it all right. That's what shalom is. Shalom is that there's no discord, there's no broken parts, there's no lack, there's no hole. So here's what I have to be. It says if you want to be, right, if you want to serve God, it's not about, Hillel says it's not about, he doesn't say, how can you be the most stringent guy? How do you become the most machmir guy? He says, you want to make God's presence in the world real? Love shlemus. Love shalom. See the value. You have to appreciate that it's important to you and good for people to be at peace, and then you have to take pleasure in it when they are. Right? Which means it's a very deep relationship with you. I have to, my life has to be good when your life is good. I love when your life is good. Okay, so now you have the attitude part. So then he says, Rodef Shalom. You have to actually be practical about it. You have to do something about it. Rodef means to pursue. Get off your seat and go do something about it. If I love peace, I love wholesomeness, I love people to be connected, I've got to act on it. Go make a happy minyan. Make a place where people can daven. Make a, right, whatever it is, it's not just enough. Like everyone wants to sit there and point out, here's what's wrong with the world. Here's where people are crazy. Here's where people are... Do something about it. Right? If you see that you have a way that you can bring wholesomeness or pleasure or joy or something good to the world, you have to actually get up and do it. Right? So you have to be an ochev shalom. The first is attitude, and the second is action. Right? That's how you do it. Act on it, chase it, pursue it, do something, move. Right? A rodef, a rodef is a guy who's running after you to kill you. Right? He's not going to stop. It's not, if I happen to have time, I'll get to it. A rodef is like, I'm pursuing it. I'm going. I want you to have a good life, and I'm gonna. I see a way to get you there, and I'm gonna help you get there. Be an ochev shalom and a rodef shalom. So then he says ochev habriot. You have to love people. Here's the next step. So in some ways it's harder. So we talked about this word ochev. Ochev means I see value in something and I take pleasure in it. So what's your fundamental interaction with people is you have to love. You have to love them. I have to look at you. We saw a preceding Mishnah that says Chavedan kol adam l'chaf, right? That you have to constantly be judging people, right? We don't believe in being non-judgmental. Our model is every human being you see, you have to judge, which means I have to look at you and identify who you are and come to a conclusion about you. And we're supposed to do that l'chaf. We're supposed to do it to the side of merit, but I can't just ignore you as if you're irrelevant. I can't treat you like you're furniture. You're a human being. So now he takes it even deeper. He says, I have to love you. I have to find something in you that's good, and I have to take pleasure in it. Right? I can't ignore you. I have to take pleasure in you. So it's interesting, the word he uses, there's lots of different words he can use for man. He doesn't use Adam. Right? Adam is man in potential. Man, right? Adam, right? Like Adamah, it's the potential of a human being. Right? The whole completeness of what he can possibly be. He may not be there yet, but it's what he's possible. That's not the word he uses here. He uses the word briot, which means creation. Right? You say every morning, thank you for waking me up. The reality is Hashem does not need to wake you up any day. Right? There's no instant gift that says Hashem will wake you up. The fact that you are awake and alive and in this world means Hashem feels that you're necessary. He needed you alive today. Right? Every person you meet, Hashem woke them up today because he felt that they were necessary to be in his world. Right? There's a briot. I may look at you and not be able to find anything particularly good about you. You may be a kind of grumpy, irritable, irascible piece of work. Right? But he says, I've got to love you. So the king of the universe who knows what he's doing says you needed to be in his world. He wanted you here. So I can't find anything else. The minimum common denominator is God created this person. And I love them just based on that. I don't need them to do anything for me. I don't want anything from them. If God thinks they need to be here, they need to be here. And I see value in that. And I take pleasure in the fact that God has a relationship with this guy. So the pathway is 1, I want wholesomeness in the world. 2, I'm willing to do something about it. 3, it has to come from I love you. It's not about me, right? We'll see in the future Mishnah, the whole world falls apart, right? The mistake of Yerovim ben Nevat. When we get to the 5th Perek, we'll see there's 3 Mishnayot that talk about the destruction of love, the destruction of intellect, and the destruction of civilization. And they all arise from the attitude of, it's all about me. Me. It's got to be me. This is the opposite. This says, if I'm going to teach you, if I'm going to touch you, if I'm going to change you, if I'm going to do anything for you, it's not about me. It's about you. It's because I love you. I want good for you. There's no selfishness. It's not what I can get from you or take from you. I love you. I want good for you. So, okay, now, I love the concept of peace. I want people's lives to be wholesome. I'm desperate to do something about it, and I'm doing it purely out of love. So he says, what do? So So he says, Makarvim the Torah. That's when you say, I want to bring you close to Torah. Right? When you talk about a kiruv organization, a kiruv approach to life, kiruv is not about how do I chalk up another notch on my belt. You know, I got another guy to my minyan. I got a guy to a Shabbos table. I got a guy to Israel. Ooh, I'm a winner, right? Look how many guys I've got. It's got to totally be motivated by, I love you. The only reason I'm carving you, the only reason I'm teaching to you, the only reason I'm working with you is because I love you. I see good in you. I take pleasure in the good I see in you, and I want your life to be wholesome. Right? I don't want you to be broken and in pain and corrupted and a mess. I want you to be alive and connected to God. So that's how it's funny, because you would think this might, first pass, if I asked you which Mishnah this is about, is this your relationship with God or other people or yourself, you might think it's your relationship with other people. We'll see it can't be, because the Mishnah that follows, when you get all three of them, you're going to have to stack them up and get best fit. And you'll see this is really, it's the mission of God. What does God want? He doesn't say, make sure that you've got the most gladdest, right? Again, that's important too. Following halacha stringently is important. But what Hillel says is, what's your tool for connecting to God? Love people and bring them close to Torah. That's what God wants from you. Right? Everything else you have to do. But ultimately, when push comes to shove, what's God going to demand of you? What does He want from you? How do you make Him happy? Love people. And show that you love them by healing their lives, by bringing them close to Torah. So that's our Mishnah.